All right, everybody, welcome to another wrestling podcast. It's me, JB, and as always, we scour the world for all of the best talent. Today is nothing different. This person is a relative newcomer to Ring of Honor, but she is the Diamond Diva, and she may be the most dangerous mind in the business today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Amy Rose.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me.
So it's crazy. We saw, we follow everybody on social media. That's what you do these days. But it's really cool that you celebrated kind of a milestone in your career last year. It's been 5 years since you, a little over 5 years now, obviously, since you started and working your first wrestling match. So you got signed to Ring of Honor last year. So can you tell us a little bit of like what that process was like, how you kind of broke into the business, and maybe even why you broke into the business?
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, it was something I always enjoyed as a kid. I saw a lot of the female wrestlers growing up, and I just thought they were amazing. I thought they were the most beautiful women I've ever seen, and I thought they were cool because they were getting in there and kicking ass. So for me, it was just it was always a dream of mine, and I always had it in the back of my head. I think growing up, I kind of put it on the back burner because I thought, that's not very realistic. And I remember I was at a comic book convention, and they happened to have a wrestling show where the wrestlers were dressed up in cosplay and doing different stuff. And I was watching the show, and it just sparked something in me. I saw the women that were performing, and I said, all right, if these girls can go out there and do this, then I definitely can do this. And next thing I knew, I was looking up local promotions and trying to get my foot in the door. So that's how I got the start. That's what put me through the door. And my first show ever, I worked as a backstage interviewer, and just little by little going through there. So following the process, eventually just watching people perform, I saw the people that stood out to me the most all happened to come from the same place. So I'm based out of Florida. I was from Miami, and all the people that stood out to me had been trained at Team 3D Academy. And so I reached out to them and I said, hey, I'm interested in learning about wrestling. Originally, I didn't think I'd actually perform in the ring. I just thought maybe be a manager, valet. And so when I had first signed up for the school, that was my goal. That was what I was focused on. But after being there and speaking with Yvonne and Bella, they told me, no, you have what it takes. You definitely need to get in that ring and start working. So
That's incredible.
here
Now,
we are. And
now you mentioned that you watched growing up, and the women that were wrestling were you were big fans of them. Was there somebody that stood out more than someone else, like someone that you really enjoyed watching?
I think for me, I was really a big fan of Lita. I think I was actually such a big fan of Lita and the Hardy Boys. I wanted to be the fourth member. So I remember I remember dreaming about that and wanting to be part of Team Extreme. So for me, definitely Lita. And then also the divas that stood out to me from back then that I really admired were the girls that weren't necessarily the best wrestlers in most people's minds, but I thought they were amazing. Were like Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler. I thought they were absolutely gorgeous, and I thought it was cool that they were even getting in there and doing anything. So I'd
Now,
say for sure those would be like my tops.
okay, awesome. That's a great group of ladies there. Now, you started training at Team 3D. It's well documented that those are two of the best wrestlers of all time in Bully Ray and Devon. But was there something that you started doing when you were training that you didn't really expect, like that would be such a part of training? Like, was there anything that came to you naturally, and anything that maybe was difficult for you to learn?
I'd say what was difficult for me was the physicality. I don't come from like a sport background or anything of that nature. So I definitely took some time to get in the groove of things and learn it, but with enough dedication, I was able to. But for sure, I'd say the conditioning part of it, people don't realize it's a lot of conditioning that goes into wrestling training, and especially Team 3D Academy. That's something that they focus on extremely hard. That's why they always go by strongest to longest, because when we get in the ring, our cardio is on point. We can go. We can keep going.
Now, you are a full time member of Ring of Honor now, which is just incredible. A lot of people, Ring of Honor was in the news a lot last year. Let's just be honest about it. And it looks like there's
Hmm.
a real big kind of resurgence in Ring of Honor. So, what's it meant to you to actually be a part of Ring of Honor? And do you think that Ring of Honor is the best fit for you right now?
I think for me personally, I've been around Ring of Honor for several years now. I got my start with them being a timekeeper and just helping out, doing ring crew, basically working my way up through the ranks. So there, doing all that, eventually I got to start training at the Ring of Honor dojo. And the level of work that I've put in, the amount of time and effort that they've given me to make me a better performer, to make me a better wrestler, I'll forever be grateful for that. And to be part of that roster is something I'm extremely proud of. So regardless of any bad press, regardless of anything that's been said, I've never been more happy. And I think it's a perfect fit for me. I'm very happy where I am. We have a lot of really exciting things coming up, a lot of big shows. And personally, I'm super excited to be part of Los Ingobernables. So it's been amazing. It's been super exciting.
Well, let's talk about LFI real quick. Obviously, you are kind of created this awesome faction, and it's taking over Ring of Honor right now. How important was it for you to be with this faction and kind of help these people any way that you can?
For me, it was exciting because, Dragon Lee was fairly new to our company. Roosh, for me, stood out 100% from day one. He's a star. And I definitely saw something in him. And obviously, working with Kenny, he saw something in me. And we teamed up. We had a vision. We knew what we wanted to make happen. And I worked some magic. And here we are. We were able to form a very powerful group, a group that, we just got our start at the last show. We had our first match, walked out of there victorious, and we're ready to make 2020 the year of La Faccion Ingobernable.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Kenny King. Obviously, one of the best going right now today. But there's a lot of questions out there as to the nature of your relationship with Kenny. Can you speak on that? Is it strictly professional right now?
It is strictly professional. This is a business relationship, but we have a lot of respect for each other, and we're ready to make things happen this year.
Now, being right now a manager, kind of the brains of the operation, we've seen what you can do so far. We know that big things are in the future, but will 2020 be the year of maybe your in-ring debut?
I definitely believe so. I've been working extremely hard to make my debut for Women of Honor. I've been blessed to have a couple matches now for Future of Honor, and I'll actually be performing at the next Future of Honor show right before our next one. It's going to be on February 8th, Saturday at the MCW Arena. So if you guys are in town, I would love for people to come out and check that out. It's going to be an opportunity to see what I can do in the ring and prove to everybody that I am able to compete and that I'm going to show everyone what I can do for Women of Honor in 2020.
Awesome. Well, Ring of Honor, as you mentioned, has some amazing shows coming up. There's the 18th anniversary show, Friday, March 13th, live in Las Vegas, Nevada. But then also, it was just announced that there's going to be the past versus present event Saturday, March 14th, Ring of Honor. Now, when you think of Ring of Honor and we think of the past, we know that some of the best wrestlers today have passed through Ring of Honor. We're talking your Daniel Bryans, your AJ Styles, the Briscoes. We're talking Eddie Edwards. We're talking just amazing, amazing talent. So if you got to pick someone from Ring of Honor's past, maybe let's say if you could pick three people from Ring of Honor's past to go one-on-one with LFI, who would you choose?
I think if we could have anybody, it would be amazing. Obviously, CM Punk would be a huge, huge one to bring in. You mentioned Daniel Bryan, I think would also be really cool. And I think Samoa Joe. I think those three versus LFI would be an insane match.
Awesome. Well, we know as we spoke before, social media, it plays a huge part in the professional wrestling business today. So if people are listening to this right now and they want to find out more about Amy Rose, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
I think the best way to get in contact with me would be through Instagram or Twitter, RumbleBunny777. Please follow me, check me out, see my career. You're going to see some exciting things this year, so for sure, hit that follow button.
Awesome. So on your social media, Twitter specifically, it says that you are a gamer girl. So we find this too nowadays that a lot of wrestlers are playing games, up, down, down. Xavier Woods' channel's got, millions of views and followers. What kind of gamer are you? What kind of systems do you have? And maybe what are some of your favorite games?
So for me personally, right now I play a lot on the Nintendo Switch. I grew up playing Pokemon as a kid. It was the first game that I didn't have to share with my older brother. So it definitely holds a special place in my heart. And something that I still play today several years later. So for sure, Pokemon is something I play a lot. So right now I'm playing Pokemon Shield, which is the newest version. Apart from that, I have my PS4. So I do like a lot of role-playing, Final Fantasy type games. Kingdom Hearts is another one that I really enjoy a lot. And then outside of those games, I'd say I'm a really big fan of Tekken. I love Tekken. And I can kick somebody's ass in some Tekken. So.
That's awesome. Awesome. So it also says that music is your boyfriend. So what kind of music do you like? And is there, obviously there's music for every occasion, but if you're really trying to pump yourself up and get going, what's the kind of your go-to music that you listen to?
I think my taste in music is very particular. I do enjoy a lot of female-fronted bands and singers. So it's not for everybody, but it's what gets me excited. And for me personally, there's probably just as exciting as going to a wrestling show. For me, is to go to a concert. I absolutely love going to concerts. I'm the kind of person that I like to go all the way into the front of the stage and just rock it out, party with the people in the front, and be part of it, feel the music. For me, to get pumped, that's kind of hard. I'd say there's so many people. Someone that I'm really listening to a lot lately that not a lot of people may know is the girl named Kim Petras. So I've been listening to her a ton. She's been amazing. She gets me pumped. She gets me ready. I'm actually at the gym right now, and that's what I was listening to before I was talking to you guys.
Awesome. So we know you're a gamer. We know that you love music. What are some other things that people may not know about you that you want them to kind of, that you wish maybe they would know about you?
I'd just say I think a lot of people can look on the outside and not know much about me. I think sometimes people may think I'm not a serious competitor based on my appearance. So that's something I want to prove to everyone this year. That's something that I want to show everyone. I want to show everyone all the hard work that I've been putting in on that dojo and prove to them that I'm a lot tougher than I look. That pretty does hurt.
Awesome. Well, once again, we want to thank you so much for taking the time out. We know you're super busy. We always like to say here, we just barely scratched the surface on what is going on with Amy Rose. We would love to have you back in 2020, and again, just thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing everything that you've got going on in the future.
Perfect. Thank you.